Mike 0, Juliet Charlie Fox.
We're a bit early, mate. Just about to give a call out to G6NRH. Juliet, Charlie Fox, Golf 6, November Romeo Hotel. I'll put you down on the list. You can be top of the list, mate, and we see how it goes. Might as well give a general call out now you've started. CQ, Golf 6, November Romeo Hotel, calling all Cray Valley Radio Society members, or even non-members, who would like to join in the Cray Valley 2-metre Sunday morning net. This is Golf 6, November Romeo Hotel, standing by for any calls. Could you do again with your call sign, please? Mike 5, Yankee, Romeo Golf Mobile. Mike 5, Romeo Golf Mobile. Oh, hold on, I'll get it right in a minute. I do apologise. Yeah, this is G6NRH. Again, sorry, could you go again? G6NRH, this is Mike 5, yellow, red, green, mobile. Oh, do apologise. Mike 50, Golf Mike, mobile. This is Golf 6, November Romeo Hotel. I put you on the list, mate. You're second on the list so far.
Yeah, Dave, it's Mike 5, Yankee Romeo Golf Mobile. Mike 5, Yankee Romeo Golf Mobile.
Golf 5, Romeo, Yankee, Mike, mobile. I take it that is your call sign?
No, it's Yankee Romeo Golf / mobile. You need to write it down in the right way round, Dave.
I do apologise, mate. I do apologise. Mike 5, Yankee, Romeo, Mike, mobile. Is that?
No, Mike 5, Yankee Romeo Golf Mobile.
What's happening today? I just can't get the call sign right. I do apologise, mate. I should put my hearing aids in. Oh, God. You can do it again. I might even actually get it this time. I do apologise.
Right, he's Mike 5, Yankee Romeo Golf Mobile. Back to you.
Oh, Mike 5, Yankee Romeo Golf Mobile. Is that right? Oh, I do apologise, mate. Thank you for persisting with my stupidity. You're 5 and 9, lovely signal, mate. But you're on the list, and I've got you down on the book at last. Anybody else like to join in the Cray Valley 2-metre net? Golf 0, Kilo, Papa, Zulu. Kilo. Right, hello, Dave. Thank you. I've got you down in the book. Anybody else? G6NRH. Fox Alpha Alpha. G4 Foxtrot Alpha Alpha. You're down there, Laurie. Thanks a lot, mate. Anybody else would like to join us?
Yeah, good morning. Golf 4, November, Hotel, G4, Steve.
See, bless now, I'm cracking up here. It should be, oh God, what is it? Oh, forget it. I'm getting all fingers and thumbs here. Anyway, it should be Mark, followed by David, and then followed by you, Laurie. If everybody else wants to join us on the 2-metre net. This is Golf 6, November Romeo Hotel, standing by.
Yeah, good morning, Steve. G4NHP, Golf 4, November, Hotel, Papa.
Golf 4, November, Hotel Papa, and it's Steve. Hello, Steve. Long time no here. Lovely signal, by the way. We should be you're not a million miles away from me. I don't know what's happening with this morning. I'm all for fingers and thumbs. Oh dear, oh dear. Anyway, I'll put you down in the log, mate. Anybody else like to join us? Nothing at the moment. I'll quickly pass it over to, let me see, yes, to Mike 5, a Yankee Romeo Golf Mobile, Golf 6, November Romeo Hotel. Go on, you can start the ball rolling.
Golf 6 November Hotel Romeo, this is Romeo Golf. Sorry about the confusion in my call sign. I wanted to do the one. I think the level first. Just come out the Golf, you know, the left side at the moment. It's quite here. Obviously a bit patchy. That would be a bit wide. I ain't driving at the moment, so I'll have to give a mic occasionally. Thank you, mate.
Yeah, M5 Yankee Romeo Golf Stroke Mobile Golf 6 November Romeo Hotel. Yeah, all copied there, mate. And as I say, you're sort of like about 5 and 5, 5 and 6, and you're cracking up a little bit. But a lovely signal nevertheless. With that, I'll quickly pass it over to you, David. G0KPZ Golf 6 November Romeo Hotel.
From G0KPZ. Yeah, good morning. I'm only just listening, so I think it's Gary, isn't it? Mike 5, Yankee Romeo Golf. You were 5 and 9 this side of the tunnel. You're about 5 and 7 the other side of the tunnel. Good signal though. Laurie, you're 5 and 9, and Dave, you're 5 and 9. I'll keep it short. A really bad back. I'm in a lot of pain. So bending over this desk is a bit painful. I might try and get a better position in a minute. So I'm going to keep it short. I've got to go and take some tablets as well. So I'm here, and I'll take the next over, and I've got it on, and I'm listening. But I'll make this first one a short one. I'm not sure who. I think I'm passing it to Laurie. Actually, Dave, what you said. So 2G4 Fox Alpha Alpha Golf 0 Kilo Papa Zulu.
Roger, it's Golf 0 Kilo Papa Zulu, Dave, Golf 4 Foxtrot Alpha Alpha Lorry. Yes, okay. Well, I can just hear Gary, YRG, just breaking the mute, but not really copyable. Everyone else is 5 and 9 plus. Using 40 watts to the downstairs Slim Jim, which seems to be giving the VSWR about 1.5 to 1. Right, pass it on. I think it goes to Mike. M0JCF to take. Golf 4 Foxtrot Alpha Alpha and the group, over.
Yeah, G4FAA M0JCF. Interesting you say that, Laurie, seeing as I was actually on the net before Dave, NRH. He totally forgot me at the beginning of this, but we'll forgive him for that. He's had a bit of trouble this morning with his ears, I think. And but yeah, not a problem. Yeah, Laurie, you would normally have passed it to Steve, G4 NHP. As I say, I would have preceded Gary. But anyway, neither here nor there. Steve, Laurie, Dave KPZ and Dave NRH, all 5 and 9. And Gary, M5YRG, who's mobile, yeah, he's about a 5 and 1. Right now, I'll tell you, the radio I'm using today, and this will explain why Gary's a 5 and 1 and just not moving the needle, but I can hear him. I'm using Thursday's purchase at the club. I'm using the Yaesu FT-290R that I paid 15 quid for. The previous club meeting, I actually bought the microphone. You know, it was on the table, and I just put in a tenner donation for that. You know, it's a Yaesu microphone, and whilst they're not rare microphones, you can never have too many. In fact, when I sold an FT-757 2 weeks ago, I used one of these microphones. Anyway, so I got the 290R microphone was a tenner. The rig was 15 quid, so 25 quid for a multi-mode 2 meter radio. Obviously for 15 quid, and as Guy said when he advertised it, it was in very poor shape. So It was and it wasn't. It turned out it was all cosmetic. Now, the antenna was snapped off. That's a common thing. And lo and behold, in my spares box, I had an FT-290R antenna. So, new antenna. I've got the microphone. I took the covers off. I took the knobs off, washed the knobs, washed all the front panel and everything. And do you know what? It works absolutely beautifully. It's about 2.5 watts on FM, about 2 watts or so on SSB. I had a couple of contacts yesterday, both FM and SSB, and just to caveat that, I am using a linear amplifier, so my 2.5 watts or whatever is going into my 25 watt microwave modules linear. I'm putting out about 20 watts at the moment into a collinear. Now, you know, like the FT-290Rs, they've all got stock problems. One of them is the leaky transistor on FM, which means when you turn it on, the meter pegs fall to the right and stays there and gradually drops off. Hasn't got that problem. FM modulation is okay. SSB, if I was on, for instance, 144 300, you would see me on 144 288. I mean, that's close enough on SSB for me to not bother mucking around. Audio is absolutely fine. The report was from Guy. The audio was rough, probably needed recapping. I left it switched on for about an hour, and now absolutely no problems, no scratchiness or anything, no audio problems, either SSB or FM. So that's the story. I'm using what is something that, you know, is getting on for 45 years old. It's in very nice condition now. It's been cleaned. It's all complete. It's all working. And that's the story with me today. So, yeah, you know, they're a little bit quirky, these. When you got them on FM, the signal meter moves as if you was on SSB. It moves with speech. So, as I say, you know, Gary, M5YRG/M, he was, he wasn't moving the needle, but I could hear him perfectly. Everyone else, you're pinging it up around the 5 and 9. So that's the story. And not much else to tell, apart from, you know, for 25 quid, I've got myself probably, you know, 50 to 100 quid's worth of second-hand FT-290R, and I'm very happy with it. You know me, I like to buy old radios, get them working, use them for a while. The only thing that's missing on this is the bulbs for the meter and display. The bulbs obviously popped, but I've got loads of grain of rice bulbs, so I can just solder one in and leave it floating in the wind somewhere in there. I'm not going to bother taking it apart to the point, you know, you've got the fight to get a bulb in there. I'll just illuminate it somehow. But said that, the display on this is perfect. No bleeding, no leaking of the LCD, and that's the story. So I don't think I've got any more to say about it, other than I quite enjoyed Thursday's meeting with the show and tell. I took my FT757GX that I bought like 2.5 weeks ago. A few people asked me questions, few people looked over it, and I had a quick sniff around. I particularly liked Chris, FDZ. He had that very nice microwave setup, didn't he, being driven by an FT817. But, you know, all the usual suspects were there. A nice crowd of people as well. It was a very crowded clubhouse that night. So over to you then, Steve. Over the back of me, G4 NHP from M0 JCF in the group.
There, Mark, just in case anyone else wanted to join the net. Good morning to everybody, and I've not been on here for some time actually, not for any particular reason. It's just it clashes with other things that I do, and it prevents me from getting on the radio. Anyway, yeah, good morning to everyone, and nice to hear you on. What is the story with Frank, by the way? I knew he was ill, but hopefully he's getting better if that, you know, is the case. Yeah, radio-wise, not done very much at all. at the moment is all, you know, sort of plus 10, plus 20. Mark, obviously you're absolutely in stock with me. So are you, Dave, actually. Very, very nice audio, nice signal. The mobile station, Mark, I don't know whether you can hear me or not, but you were sort of bouncing around between sort of 5 and 4 and 5 and 7, but I could receive all your audio okay. It's just a bit bouncy up and down as you're driving along. Not particularly high where I am, about 150 feet I think, and just got a collinear on the roof of the bungalow. Sounds like you're getting a few bargains, Mark. God knows how many radios you've got now. I wonder whether you keep a spreadsheet with them on. You must have so many to keep a catalogue of how many you've actually got. It made me chuckle actually as you said you took the knobs off and washed them. I imagined you and the missus sitting in front of the washing machine and watching the knobs going round and round through the window on the front. So I did have a little smile at that. Anyway, I'm not going to waffle on. I'll pass it back to you, Dave, because it went out of order a little bit, didn't it? I think Laurie should have passed it to me, but passed it to Mark. So if I pass it back to you, and then I don't know if you want to work back down the list as I've got it written down. I've got you obviously as network controller, and I've got Mark JCF next. Then I've got Gary, yellow, red, green, mobile, and then G0KPZ, and then Laurie G4FAA, and then myself. So back to you, Dave, and lovely to hear you. G6NRH from G4NHP.
G4NHP, G6NRH, yeah. Finally got my act together, yeah. Yeah, thanks a lot. That order is exactly right, and apologies, Mark. I mean, you did come up first. And in my haste, I went down to put it down, and for some reason I forgot to put you on the top of the list. I think it's when I was fumbling around with Gary and I couldn't quite get his call sign right, and that's what did it. Oh dear. Yeah. When I got up this morning, I thought, what a miserable day, but I'm hoping that the old WX is going to be a lot better. It seems it's brightening up slightly, and the rain stopped. So, because the shack I've got here is upstairs, so I can look down in the garden and see what's going on. Everybody's all 5 and 9, lovely 6, except for Gary, of course, who's about 5 and 5, but still fully readable. Lovely. I mean, since you've gone mobile, mate, you're doing a fantastic job. When I pass it over to you, I think what I'll do is I'll miss out Mark, because he already had it over, and I'll quickly pass it back over to Gary and see how we go. And we'll see, yeah, but all what Mark said about on Thursday, it was fantastic. God, I've never seen so many people there, and they're showing all their little bits and pieces, and I just took my iPad, because I wasn't going to start lumbering the 101B, and but it's nice to see Steve had a loosely, he had an original 101, and he got it for nothing. It was somebody gave it to him when we had the KW weekend, which I'll have to give him a shout and see if he wants to sell it, because I could do with some spares, and that all fit my radio, a lot of the bits and pieces, but even though it's an earlier model, it hasn't changed that much. Anyway, with that, I'm waffling. I do apologise. I'll quickly pass it over to you, Gary, and see if you can, if you're still in the land of the living, as it were, because you might be out of range. M5, a Yankee Romeo Golf stroke mobile Golf 6 November Romeo Hotel in the group. Break. The break. Can you go again, please, mate?
2E0 IQP.
Right, can you wait? I'll put you in. I'll put you at the bottom of the list. So if you can wait, and I'll just quickly pass it back over to Gary because he's mobile. Over to you, Gary.
Put me there as well, Dave.
What was that, sorry, mate?
Frank, Dad.
Oh, well, yeah, have an over.
It was Frank FDP.
Quick over then, Frank, and we'll see how we go. Nice to hear you, mate. Over to you. Golf 0, Foxtrot Delta Papa Golf 6 November Romeo Hotel. Over to you, Frank.
All right, okay, over to me, G0FTP. What about the station you was trying to contact the M5Y something, who's mobile? But if you want to give him a shout rather than let me waffle on, I've had a struggle getting downstairs here, and it's bloody awful, and I've had a job. That's why I'm a bit late. Back to you, Dave.
Yeah, G0 Foxtrot Delta Park Golf 6 November Romeo Hotel. Okay, I'll give him a quick shout. Yeah, Gary, can you come in, please, mate? M5 Yankee Romeo Golf stroke mobile Golf 6 November Romeo Hotel.
Golf 6 November Romeo Hotel. 5 Yankee Romeo Golf. Now static mobile. Good evening, Dave, and everyone else on the train down in it. Good morning. Sorry to cause confusion with my call sign. With making my name. If you haven't got anyone wrote down, I wrote down Gary first of all, took out the A, G-R-Y, and reversed it, that's why it's Static mobile at the moment in Lakeside, Barrett, so most of you are getting in over 77, wireless is on the car, and good morning to all the other stations that have just joined this conference. G6NRH in 5 YRG returning.
M5YRG Golf 6 November Romeo Hotel. Yeah, all copied there, Gary. Your signal's gone up to 5 and 9. 5 and 9, mate. Lovely signal. With that, I'll quickly pass it over to the T2E0 station. Can you go again, please? And off you go.
2E0IQP, good morning, it's Mark here. Everybody's signal all very good with me, perched on top of Shooters Hill in the car. It's interesting, so I'm parked in my car, not going anywhere. Am I portable, or am I mobile, or am I none of the above? Anyway, everybody's signal is very good. Gary, just a little bit down, not quite sure of your QT edge, Gary, but perfectly readable. Okay, I think, well, I'll hand it back to you, Dave, and you can organise from 2E0IQP over to G6NRH.
2E0IQP Golf 6 November Romeo Hotel. All copied there, Mark, and yeah, Shooters Hill, you're not a million miles away from me, actually, down here in Wendover, but you're a lovely signal, 5 and 9. And with that, I'll quickly pass it over to, who I've got to pass it over to? Oh, it'll be over to you, Frank, if it's okay. If you're all sort of settled in now, and we see it go. I'll pass it back over to Frank, and then we'll stop at the top of the list. G0, Foxtrot Delta Park, Golf 6, November, Romeo Hotel.
G6NRH on G0FTP. Yep, okay, Dave, and thank you very much for passing it back to me. Well, I've had a bit of a struggle getting down the stairs today. You try coming down the stairs with a walking stick and a cup of tea in your bloody hand. It's not very easy. I have to put a cup of tea down every third step and down a couple of steps, then do the same again. And then I got round here, I've got mess about switching the heater on, switching this on, switching that on, and I managed to sort things out now, and I'm actually, I think I'm okay at the moment, and I'll be running around about 15, 20 watts at the moment. So that's me today. I've had a bloody backache, and it's killing me at the moment, but there we are, that's one of them things. Okay, Dave, and put it back to you now, and you can start the list rolling from the top as you said you were going to do. Okay, from G0FTP.
G0FTP, G6NRH returning. Yep, thanks a lot there, Frank. What I'll do is I'll quickly pass it over to Mark. I'll give the running order that I've got. It'll be Mark, NOS, M0, Foxtrot, Charlie, oh, God, what's up with me this morning? M0, JCF, then it should be Mike 5, Yankee, Romeo Golf, stroke what? He's not Michael anymore, so he's just got Gary. Dave, G0KPZ, then it will be Laurie, G4 Foxtrot Alpha Alpha, Steve, G4NHP, and Mark, 2E01QP, and it's back to you then, Frank, at the end. With that, quickly over to you, Mark. M0 JCF Golf 6 November Romeo Hotel in the group.
Yeah, G6 NRH M0 JCF. Yeah, 2E0. It's not 2E01QP. Mark is 2E0IQP. Put a line at the top and the bottom of your number one, Dave. There you go. Both Mark and Gary, I would say, no, right, Mark, you're 5 and 9, Frank 5 and 9. Everyone's 5 and 9 except for Gary. Gary's 5 and 1. Perfectly readable, static, where he is. I think he said Lakeside, Thurrock. Anyway, he's the other side of the water, so he's a northerner now for the morning. But anyway, yeah, I would just say you were portable. You're just portable. Now, that's the way I would do it. Now, there is no requirement anymore, is there, to have /mobile, /portable, /alternative. I think alternative is when you're in someone else's house but using your call sign. Portable is obviously you're out portable. I don't think it matters whether you're walking, whether you're using a handheld, whether you're in a car or anything like that. I think you're portable. Static mobile has never made any sense to me, because you're either static or you're mobile. It's like saying I'm standing still walking. You can't, can you? You know, an unstoppable object that meets the immovable object type scenario. Never the twain shall meet in the same universe. That's just that. But I don't think. I mean, I think it's always good to add a slash at the end, if you pardon the expression, because it gives people an idea that you're not sitting at home. So yeah, I think /portable for both Mark and Gary is what I would use. But then somebody might want to challenge me on that one. I don't know. And to be honest, it's not that important unless you really want to emphasise where you are, what you're doing. But for Mark and Frank, who have sort of just joined, you might not have heard at the beginning, I'm using the FT-290R that was sold last week. I picked it up at the club, and it did look horrible. It did look as sad as you'd expect it to be. It turned out to be a bit of a princess in wolf's clothing, because once I'd cleaned it, and once I'd replaced the antenna, and once I put a microphone on it and powered it up, left it powered for a while, it turned out that it just works. There's none of the quirks and foibles and nasties that you get with an old FT-290R. Of course, as per all the FT-290Rs, it's quite deaf on receive, which is why Gary's giving me Santiago 1 and everyone else is getting at least between 5 and 9. But, I'm not worried about signal strength. I'm worried about audio. And if I can hear him and I can have a conversation with him, good enough for me, I ain't going to get hung up by that. And HF wise, I've been working mainly CQing 12 metres and some 10 metres this week. All the usual suspects in the morning. You get Ukraine, you get Russia, you get Greece, Turkey, some Mid-East coming back to you. I'm particularly, like listening out for the weaker stations or more distant stations, countries I haven't got. Heard a few VKs on, but they are VKs that I've worked in the past, so I don't bother sitting in pile-ups. Interestingly, this week I got my first ever South Korea station. He was working the numbers and I just missed him. He just finished the zeros and switched to 1. I had to wait 30 minutes for him to come round full circle, and when he got back round to the zeros, and he called and I was first in, and that was using the FT-757GX. I think that was last Thursday I did that. So I've got South Korea, ticks that box, but only on 10 metres. There's lots and lots of USA. I think the furthest west I worked last week was Arizona. But these are all people generally replying to my CQ. I tend to sit mainly, if you're looking for me, mainly CQing on 12 metres. But sometimes I'll go on to 10. But 10, as you would imagine, this time of the solar cycle, is now getting quite crowded. And Yeah, sometimes I wouldn't say it's difficult, but you know, like everyone crowds between sort of about the 28,350 and 28,550, and if you sit around 28 600 onwards, you know, before you get to 29 megahertz, then you know, unless they've got a band scope and they can see your signal, people don't tend to spin the dial that far up, you know. And so if they're working with older radios like I tend to, then, you know, they're missing a trick there. You know, 10 metres is a huge, great band, but everyone crams into like 150 kilohertz, 200 kilohertz, sort of in the centre of the band in the all mode section. Quite a waste. But you go at 12 metres, and of course it's a tiny little band, and they can't fail to spot you. But having said that, 12 metres is suddenly getting very popular. And, you know, some days I've been on 12 and I'm getting splatter from all quarters. But there you go. Interesting splatter I did get was from Barry, November 4. Is it Whiskey Foxtrot uniform? He's in Carolina. I speak to Barry quite often, but I was even getting splatter from Barry from the United States. He realised it was me, so he stopped. Then I said goodbye to whoever I was talking to in the USA. I think he was in Virginia. And then I heard Barry start up because he heard me say I was going QRT. So we had a chat with Barry, and Barry's one of those really nice blokes. He's very cordial, very apologetic, and all of that, you know. And I keep saying to him, "Don't worry about it, mate. You know, you realise someone was nearby, and you stopped, or you tried to shift further down the band away from me, you know. And when you heard me say I was going QRT, I said you started up. You know, that's good and proper. And you know, if more amateurs were to have that, you know, like that sensibility and just think about it, you know, we wouldn't all be treading on each other. But the times I come up, you know, say on 12 metres, and then I have a really strong European station, normally out of Bulgaria, Italy, somewhere like that, and they are literally 1 to 1.5 kilohertz away, and I'm thinking, what happened to 3 kilohertz? What happened to your 2.7 kilohertz filters? You know, think, just because maybe you can't hear someone on the frequency you're on, you know, somebody may be, especially if it's a QRP error or something like that, they may be just a few kilohertz away. And I also think some of it is down to me. I pick oddball frequencies. I will pick a frequency like 24983. So I'm not picking 980. I'm not picking 985. I pick 983. The idea behind that is I'm in between two popular spot frequencies. So, you know, I'm thinking to myself, if I sit on 5, if I sit on 0, someone else is bound to slam straight down on top of me if they can't hear me, or you know, or they will sit, you know, a little bit closer. And I think that is partly my problem, is I'm not quite, you know, I'm a little bit too close to 5 and probably not far enough away from 0. But, you know, it's because the other people, when they sort of drop down with their 1.5 kilowatts without listening to a couple of kilohertz either side of the frequency they want to sit on, maybe I should pick the 5s and 0s and be obvious like everyone else. Anyway, I like to get that out of my way. Over to you, Gary, if you can hear me. Mike 5, Yankee Radio Golf, sitting over there in the Thurrock area. This is M0 JCF in the Cray Valley group.
station at the moment, focused on the outside shop, and we've heard some technical accidents and stuff. It has unfortunately started to rain here, guys. It's unfortunately going your way from this side over the Kent side, so I'm going to make the final and go to go to the shop. So like I say, I want to thank my Lord for letting us in, and sorry for the confusion. I think with me, usually when I race the car, you're seeing my full sign over correctly a few times. I think the few enjoyed you want to get over the village. Typically, the one and all, so it's 5 wire and back to the group. Yeah, from G0KPZ. All copies there. Good, good signal there, Gary. No problem at all. You're up to about 5 and 9 with me now. What have I got written down? Steve G4HP, really, really beautiful, big, loud audio signal 5.9 plus. There's a lot of people lighting up all the segments on this tiny little 817 that I'm using at the moment. What else have I got? Already got Laurie on 5.9. Mark 2 IQP, when you came up you were 5.9. Frank, you're obviously 5.9. Have I got anybody else on the list I've missed? If there's anybody I've missed, I apologise. But I think everyone is pretty much 5.9 today. Mark, your earlier comments on the FT-290, I had a couple of those when I very first started out as a G7 and a microwave module, 25 watt. It's a nice little radio. It's, as you say, it's a bit deaf, but a nice little radio. And the bulbs go absolutely common. You might want to stick an LED and a resistor in if you're putting a flying thing in. So you won't have to do it again, will you? So anyway, I'm not going to hold it. I'll whiz it round. I'm passing on to Laurie, I think. G4 Fox Alpha Alpha, take it from G0 KPZ and the group.
Okay, Roger, with a pause there, from Golf 4 Fox Alpha Alpha. On the signal reports then, gents, I can hear everyone that's at the mobile station, Yankee Romeo Golf, and everyone so far is making it into the Kelvin Hatch SDR receiver, even me, which is good. Right, to you, Mark JCF, yeah, I agree. We should carry on using stroke M and stroke P, stroke A, because it does, as you say, give the receiving station some idea of how you're managing with them. Stroke M, if you are actually physically mobile, which of course would explain the fluctuation of signals and perhaps some mute shutting every now and again. And stroke P, on the basis that you're static. FT-290s, yeah, I had only one of the 4 or 5 that I've owned over the years. I've still got a couple with low TX output, about 1.5 watts instead of 2.5. But one of my 290s had a Mutex front end, and that made a difference.
Well, sounds like this one is now developing a fault.
HF-wise, well, I've been on 12 metres, mostly because one of the Clifton Club members, Clifton Club GCGHN, has passed into history, is stroke MM off the coast of Gambia, and that was G0HUZ, Tony. I've been struggling to reach him, but in the process of not reaching him, I had a good look around the HF band, and Ukrainian station on 17 running a kilowatt, with most people saying glory to the UK, Ukraine, virtually every over, was quite interesting. The only other one of any interest of the 5 or 6 I worked was a chap called Tor, LA6 Kilo Oscar.
Yeah, north of the Arctic Circle.
He was on an island beyond the Arctic Circle, right in the north of Norway. 200 watts to a windlass, but it clearly was getting out everywhere. What else have I got here? Well, that's about it. I won't make it a long over because this is enormous net. And to you, Dave NRH, I'll see you on Tuesday, hopefully. And I think the pecking order is yourself, can't read me right, JCF, YRG, KPZ, myself, NHP, IQ Bravo, Mark up on Shooter's Hill. Interested to know what sort of antenna he's using, and FTP. Right, so now it goes to NHP. G8 November Hotel Papa to take. Golf 4 Foxtrot Alpha Alpha and the group, over. Yeah, G4SAA from G4 in HP. Yeah, nice signal, Laurie, and nice audio as well. Yeah, what have I been up to actually? Yeah, I bought a couple of those little Conchain portables that I think nearly everyone's got one now, about £8.50 each. And I find it with the various firmware that's been developed for that little radio, marvellous little bit of kit for the money. I've just had to buy another one, even for spare antenna or battery. And if you haven't got one, I'd get one while they're still available. The build quality is incredible for the money. Just nice to have a little portable that works as good as you know, £400 from your main suppliers, you know, Yaesu, Cray, or whatever. Marvellous. So highly recommend getting one of those. And Mark put a video on of how to modify the thing to put the new firmware in, which was very informative. So well done for that, Mark. I don't know if you all know, but I run a gateway from here, which is MB7ISP. It's not my initials, it's actually simplistic up ISP. That's why I chose ISP and it was available. But it also happens to be my initials as well, not the I but the SP. Just coincidence. But that runs on 144.9. I know Mark's used it a couple of times and a few others, but yeah, that's it needs a tone, a CTCSS tone, just on a transmit of 77 hertz, and you can access that, and it's verbally connected to the Freestar network, and that links to various other gateways around the world. In fact, I was speaking to a guy in Alaska a couple of days ago, a really nice chat with him, and he also runs a little net on there. It's really good. So perhaps you have a little list on 144.9. As I say, if you want to access it, you need a CTCSS tone of 77 hertz. As simple as that. It's just analog, so you don't need a digital radio or anything. HF-wise, I still have a look go now and again on FT-8. I know a lot of you don't like it. It's like Marmite, you love it or hate it, but I quite enjoy using it because I can use it while whilst watching the telly, and I can just sit there and play my radio, and it keeps me occupied and I don't annoy anyone rapping away. I'm up to 180 countries now. It's getting harder and harder to get an extra one. But just a bit of fun that I first started doing during the lockdown. Give me something to do. And just carried it on, really. Right, that's enough from me. Round to Mark at Top Shooter's Hill, 2E0IQP. I think someone inquired what antenna you're using up there, Mark, so perhaps you'd like to tell them. Over to you then, 2E0IQP from G4NHP.
G4NHP from 2E0IQP. Yes, it's a 5/8 wave mag mount stuck to the top of the car, and I'm using a new radio, not new to me, that is. In fact, I bought it from Yaesu, club member, I can't remember it's called one. But it's Yaesu FT-290R. And I'm running probably about 25 watts, something like that. So, I think this is actually the first net I've been on where I can hear everybody, and everybody's coming in really well, but then I am on soft shooter still. Thanks for clarifying my call sign there, Mark. 2 Echo 0 with a stroke through it. I was the top and the bottom, QP. I mean, I'm looking forward to doing my full exam in the autumn. I'm on the list for the club course. But apart from anything else, I can get rid of this very ungainly call sign and get something a little more easy on the ear, I think. Okay, I'll hand it on. I think it's Frank. I'm sorry, I'm not sure. Perhaps I better hand it back to Dave and he can hand it over. So from 2E0 IQP over to Dave G6NRH.
2E0 IQP G6NRH returning it, all copied there, Mark, and apologies, I got your call sign wrong earlier. It is Frank. I'll quickly pass over to you, Frank. G0 Foxtrot Delta Golf 6, November Romeo Hotel in the
KPU. KPZ. M0 KPZ. Was you wanting to say something? M0 KPU, Frank. Oh, it's KPU, that's Chris, alright. You'll probably have to come in after me now then, Chris. That's M0 KPU, Dave. And that's Chris. Right, from G0 FDP, yeah, okay, hopefully got on alright with that little 779 millimetre rig there, Dave, and it's giving you some good work on it, and it does get a bit hot, doesn't it, when you start getting on it for early later time, but you sorted that out now. When I see you next time, I've got the booklet here for it, I'll let you have it. It's the Anytone 779 instruction manual, and you can do what you want with it, and you can all sorts of things, so it'll work out just nice. And it's only a 15 watt maximum output power, so you won't be running megawatts or anything silly from it. That'll be the thing anyway. It's a good little rig. I haven't used it. I used to use it for a little while, but then when my Orly 4-metre rig was back to normal again, I put it away in the drawer, and it's been sat there for probably 12 months or more, not got used. So at least you can use it, Dave, now, rather than using your transverter on your big rig to get 4 metres. Okay, it sounds like we've got now, as I say, Chris KPU standing by beside next to me after I've stopped talking. Right, what else to add? Well, it was interesting down at the club on Thursday. I know some nice pictures there. Dave, NOW taken, obviously Yakov's taken some, and somebody else has taken some. Got a few pictures down there which somebody had taken on the actual night, and it was a very interesting night. Quite a few members, and possibly a few non-members, but over 41 people were there, so it was well sort of looked after as well by everybody else. And I must admit to say thank you very much to Trevor for sorting the tea out and doing the rest of it, where I would normally be doing it myself, but I'm not in a position to do that anymore at the moment. Okay, right, KPU, M0 KPU, Chris, I think you can come in next because you just called in after me. Okay, Chris, over to you. Yeah, thanks, Frank, and hopefully you're recovering. Back on full soon, right, guys, right? Well, the other one, I don't know what I've done, but I've blown up the front end of that, so that's a bit of a pain. Nice to see NRH and Trev on Friday in the clubhouse. That was nice. Went up there on spec. I hadn't looked up which day they were on, but sure enough, they were both there, so that was really nice to have a chat with you guys. And with that, I'll pass that back to you, Dave, NRH, and your audio's much better this week, Rich.
M0 KPU G6NRH. How dare you talk about my audio that way? No, I did turn down the gain and also turn down the output, so it's now running about 30 watts. Only trouble is though, Chris, I think that you've got my audio is better than yours. But it does sound a bit close. I don't know if you sound a bit away from the microphone. I'll quickly pass it back to you just to give me another quick over, just to see if it's me or if it's your radio. M0 KPU 26LH.
But I've got it in the version like,
yeah, M0 KPU 26LH. That was a lot better, bit softer, but there wasn't that sound, and it was a lot better, mate. I mean, hopefully my audio's still using this heritage microphone, which I'm not going to change it now. But I did what you said and turned the gain down. It seemed to make a big difference. Because who was it? Mike said, he said, you're a bit loud, David. So I don't know, maybe I'm just overdriving the thing, so I've just turned it all down. But thanks anyway for the comment, and I really appreciate it, mate. I mean, we all think we're doing fantastically well, and until somebody says, well, your audio is a load of rubbish. But, but it's nice to know. Yeah, I just thought that on Thursday it was fantastic. Also, Friday was great as well when we did the 4-meter net. And thanks a lot for your radio, mate. It's really good. The AT-779. It's a fantastic little radio. But as you say, if you've got it on full power, God, you can cook an egg on it. It's so hot. But it's a really lovely little rig, 4-meter rig. I think for the price, it's a fantastic little thing. Yeah, and I really appreciate it, mate. But more fun. Yeah, I haven't got an inverter anyway because I just used the IC7300 and it automatically got 4 meters, which I think is fantastic. And it's just a lovely radio. But anyway, I'll be waffling on as usual, so I'll quickly pass it over to Mark. M0 JCS Golf 6 November Romeo Hotel in the group.
Nobody waffles as bad as me, Dave. I won't worry about that. Right, a few points, and then I'm going to sign because I've got things to do, and I know it's a big net, and we're coming near the end of it. And I think I've said lots today. The call sign you was looking for, Mark, was M0KUK. That was Jakub. M0KUK. The 290Rs. This is about the 10th one I've owned, so I know all about them. Right, what's happened now in the last round of overs, the audio has gone a little bit off. Now, it depends on who's talking. It's definitely this end. It's not your end. It's not like other people's microphone audios. Either this is very, very slightly drifting, and the very close stations like Dave and Frank, if I'm drifting, you're so close that I can't really tell the difference. But other people, the audio's going slightly off, like, on FM, you've slightly a few kilohertz off frequency. I'm just checking an external meter. Hang on. And I'm showing 145.352. So it's most likely this radio has now drifted, especially with my long overs, or the audio caps do need replacing. But there you go. That's just a comment with that. Steve was going on about the Quansheng UV5Ks. Yes, fantastic radio. I bought an HF antenna for mine, a telescopic base-loaded antenna, and I've been listening to 10 meters on it, 12 meters on it, no problems whatsoever. I've even, the United States side stations coming through 5 and 9, with a telescopic antenna that cost me a tenner on eBay. I think the antenna was nearly as much. I think the cheapest I paid for one of my Quanshengs was £12.50. So I paid a tenner for the antenna. So I paid as much for the antenna almost as I did for the radio. But, as a shortwave listeners, as a scanner and a receiver, absolutely fine, for the money. Don't expect to be lighting the world up. Do not transmit outside of 2 meters 70 sems. They're not designed for it. They're not filtered for it at all, ever. So a lot more hardware modifications if you want to do that. But as a receiver, from 18 megahertz right up to 1.3 gigs. You know, they not going to be perfect, but it works well enough. Airband AM, absolutely fine now. They've licked that one. I'm using firmware upgrade Exuma version 21. There is a version 22, and apparently they've now got it down to 17 megahertz as well. So you know, the chip's not even designed for that, and they've got it working that low down. And then Steve, yes, I've been using your gateway every now and again. I'm quite happy to use it because I use a handheld, an analog handheld. As far as I'm concerned, it's no different from talking to anyone on any repeater, any analog repeater. What it does after it leaves your gateway, a lot of people say, oh, you're working over the internet. No, mate, I'm not working over the internet. I'm working point to point between me and a little repeater. What it does after that is immaterial to me. But I tell you, I do listen more than I use it. And I think one of the nets you're on about, isn't it run by one of them is an M3 or M6 CMG. I often hear him most evenings, and especially on Sundays, and there's two of them, and they run the competition, didn't they, last year to win a Quansheng radio or something like that. I know Dav, WDV, he won a handheld radio by joining in that competition, and it was all about really using the gateways, using that network. Is Freestar, isn't it, I believe? They were using that network, and then you went onto the internet and you logged it on their website, and then they picked you know, someone out of a hat to win. And I did. I logged a couple because, you know, it was a fun thing to do, you know, and you got to be in it to win it. So yeah, that's the story there. Anyway, as it is, as I say, I think I've probably had the most airtime today. I know Gary M5YRG Mobile has now signed. He's gone 73. So I'm also going to wish everyone 73. Have a great Sunday. There were 9 of us actually on the net today. Not too shabby, I'll tell you what, for a net. That's not too shabby at all, is it? 9 participants. So I'm going to go and say, wish everyone 73. Have a great Sunday. I just don't want to. I just don't want to wind this radio up anymore. And to be honest, too late in the day to be swapping radios now. So all the very best to everyone. And I'll say over to you, Dave. G0K. Oh, Frank. Sorry, mate. I meant to say, lovely to see you on Thursday. You're looking really, really well. And despite you telling me, you know, it's all going in the head and body. I've got that little pleasure to come. But it was nice to see you in person and actually say hello to you this time. But as I say, you're looking well. We'd never know, would we? There you go. So anyway, yeah, I'm going to say goodbye, hand it round to Dave. G0KPZ to take from M0JCF in the Cray Valley group. Bye-bye, everyone.
M0JCF from G0KPZ. Yeah, I'm going to make this quite fun as well. I'm going to go take some more tablets and a lot of pain here. Don't have problems with it. Yeah. Yeah, great net this morning. Nice to hear everybody on. Really, really good. So I'm just going to make it really short and sweet. 73s, everyone. Hope you have a good day. Hope the rain stays away wherever you are. It's all right here at the moment. Who knows? I think Gary was saying heading in this direction. Might head in this direction. So 73s, everybody. And I'm passing for Ralph and take it from G0, KPZ and the group. Roger, G0, KPZ from Golf 4, Fox Alpha. Only a couple of things from it's reached the witching hour. To you, Dave, hopefully I'll see you on Tuesday. To you, Frank FTP, the 4 metre dipole I promised you, I gave to NRH to
working from upstairs. My tin-sing UV5K, I'm still learning to drive it. I'll get round to it in the end. To you, Chris, KPU, yeah, you're 5 and 5 initially, but the second Q you came up with, it dropped to 5 and 2. But I could still read it. I think that's it, folks. So I'll sign now with everyone and pass it on to, can't read me writing, Steve NHP. It's interesting on the gateway. I've never tried one, but I've got to well these days, but it might be the only way to stay on the air in the old age. The noise level has increased any worse than they are at the moment. You're waffling on, start it on. The G4 LHP to take, Golf 4, Foxtrot, Alpha, Alpha, and the group over. G4 FAA, G4 LHP. The gateway, yeah, basically, it's only running low power, over 1, and it's on that antenna which is soft mounted, just a diamond, I think it's on an X30 or 50, I can't remember what I put up there now. It's just literally hanging on a bit of string from the highest point inside the loft, rafters. It's actually in the loft as well, so it's not a cable running. It's surprising how far it does get out. I mean, you're 20 over 9 with me, Laurie, so I'm sure you should be able to hear it. So it's on 144, decimal 900. Again, 77 hertz if you want to access it. Just on any old analog radio. That's all you have to do. Yeah, I'm going to make this one my final as well. I think time's cracking on. It's just got 7:01. So, anyway, thank you, Dave and I, for being that controller. First time I've been on the net with you in charge. And lovely to hear Frank. He's okay and able to join the net today. Nice to hear you, Frank. With that, 73 to all, and any other listeners that may be listening and haven't joined the net, good morning to you as well, and have a nice Sunday. 73s, and over to you, Mark, 2E0IQP, Shooters Hill, G4 NHP. G4 NHP from 2E0IQP, thank you very much, Steve. Like I say, well, 9 people on the net, that's great, and also, I think this is the first net I've been on where I can hear everybody perfectly reasonable. Most people are 5 and 9 plus, and that's all very good. Well, it's 11:02 according to my car clock, so I'll make this my final and wish everybody 73s. Over to Frank, G0 SDP from 2E0IQP. 2E0IQP from G0 FDP, yep, okay there, Mark, no problem. Your signal's lovely to me, yep, no problem at all. And also, Chris, your nice signal as well. Dropped down a bit in audio strength on the last over you sent out, Chris, but no problem with copying what you were saying. Why I gave my 779, because I've got one here already, the larger version, we thought that the aerial for me just had completely snapped off. But funny enough, when Dave took it down, what had actually happened was the top part, which obviously got bent in the wind, to make it sort of like a somebody's turning the top part round and round, and because the centre part is screwed in, it's unscrewed itself. That's why it's come off and fell on the floor. But now that Dave sorted it out, screwed it back in again and tightened it up so it's working normally as it did before. So that's wonderful work for Dave, who's done it for me the other day. Right, enough of that. I'll put it round to you, Chris. M0KPU. Yeah, thanks for that, Frank. Okay, I'll make this the final. And wish everybody the best of luck. Thanks for letting me know.
KPU G6NRH. Yeah, all copied there, Chris. And thanks everybody that's come up this morning on this net. It's been quite a full net this morning. Even my stupidity in getting call signs wrong, and I do apologise, Gary, if you're listening. But we got there in the end. It was really nice, and it's nice to hear everybody. There's some of the old faces that I've heard for quite some time. I mean, Steve, Chris, and of course Frank, and of course David. Lovely signal as usual. You're all fantastic signals. With that, I should be closing the net down. I'll just leave it open just to see if there's any last reports or if somebody wants to say anything before I shut the net down. Before I do that, I'll quickly ask Laurie, what time does the meeting start on Tuesday? Over to you for a quick report. G4, Foxtrot Alpha Alpha, Golf 6, November Romeo Hotel.
Yeah, from Fox Alpha Alpha at 7:30 as usual, I think. In which case, hopefully I'll see you. Well, I plan to walk up there. It's an easy walk, and scrounge a lift home afterwards. Over.
That's a Roger. Yeah, all copied there, mate. Yeah, we'll do that, and we'll put the world to rights. So I'm looking forward to it. It's I think it's Ian giving a talk on aviation, aircraft, etc. at Milden Hall. And we'll see how we go. With that, I'll say if anybody else has got any other reports or any other comments, please say it now, or else I'll be closing the net down at 11:06.
Yeah, M0 JCF, just to let everyone know, I have recorded this video. I will admit the first couple of minutes at the beginning with all the confusion, not a problem. So it will run to just about an hour, just over an hour. It will be on the normal YouTube channel, M0 JCF ham radio. And it's there that, as Steve alluded to, you'll find my how-to idiot's guide of how to program a Quansheng UV-K5 with what I used was the Exuma 21. With that, I'll say goodbye. M0 JCF now, clear, and stopping the video.
M0 JCF G6NRH. God, you should have left it all in, mate, because then it shows the world how stupid I can be. Anyway, much appreciated. I'll have a quick look at that most probably later today. I'll say 7-3 to everybody. It's been a pleasure, never a chore. And have a great day. And hopefully the weather is getting better.